The Tears of a Slave, Africa's Freedom Journal, March 14, 1829. Adieu to my dear native shore, to toss on the boisterous wave, to enjoy my kindred no more, but to weep the tears of a slave. By the sons of freemen I'm born, to the land of the free and brave. From my wife and children I'm torn, to weep the sad tears of a slave. When I think on mother and friends, and the joy their countenance gave, how my sad bosom it rends, while weeping the tears of a slave. Now I must labor for gold, to pamper the pride of a knave. Now I'm shackled in soul, to weep the sad tears of a slave. Keen sorrow so presses my heart, that often I sigh for my grave, while feeling the lash, cruel smart, and weeping the sad tears of a slave. Ye sons of the free and the wise, your tender compassions I crave. Alas, can your bosoms despise the pitiful tears of a slave? Can the land of Christians so pure let demons of slavery rave? Can the angel of mercy endure the pitiless tears of a slave? Just heaven, to thee I appeal. Hast thou not the power to save? In mercy thy power reveal, and dry the sad tears of a slave. The Slave Auction, by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. The sale began. Young girls were there, defenseless in their wretchedness, whose stifled sobs of deep despair revealed their anguish and distress. And mothers stood with streaming eyes, and saw their dearest children sold. Unheeded rose their bitter cries, while tyrants bartered them for gold. And women, with their love and truth, for the stable forms may dwell, gazed on the husband of their youth, with anguish none may paint or tell. And men, whose sole crime was their hue, the impress of their Maker's hand, and frail and shrinking children too, were gathered in that mournful band. Ye who have laid your love to rest, and weep above the lifeless clay, know not the anguish of the breast, whose love are rudely torn away. Ye may not know how desolate our bosoms rudely forced apart, and how a dull and heavy weight will press the life drops from the heart. Address to Slavery, by Samuel Wright, The Weekly Anglo-African, February 18, 1860. Slavery, O slavery, I cannot conceive why judges and magistrates do not relieve my downtrodden people from under thy hand, restore them their freedom, and give them their land. The loudest voice of reason incessantly cries, Ye lovers of mammon, when will ye be wise? How long will misanthropy reign in their hearts? Behold the poor slaves, and consider their smarts. Upon the plantation they labor and toil, exert all their strength, and enrichen the soil, while the sun pours upon them its hot scorching ray, without intermission for a whole lifelong day. Hope God by his power will save them at last, and bring them as Israel in ages that passed, out of reach of proud slavery's chain, to enjoy the sweet comfort of freedom again. The Slave's Complaint, in the Hope of Liberty, 1829. Am I sadly cast aside on misfortune's rugged tide, or the world my pains deride forever? Must I dwell in slavery's night, and all pleasure take its flight, far beyond my feeble sight, forever? Worst of all, must hope grow dim, and withhold her cheering beam? Rather let me sleep and dream forever, something my still heart surveys. Groping through this dreary maze, is it hope? Then burn and blaze forever, leave me not a wretch confined, altogether lame and blind, onto grass despair consigned forever. Heaven, in whom I can confine, cast thou not for all provide. Consent to my guide forever, and when this transient life shall end, O may some kind eternal friend bid me from the servitude ascend forever. Slave's Reflections, the Eve. Before his sail, O comrades, tomorrow we try the fate of an exit unknowing. Tears trickled from every eye. 'Tis going, 'tis going, 'tis going. Who shall the dark problem then solve? An evening of gladness or sorrow, thick clouds of emotion evolve. The sun which awaits us tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Thick clouds of emotion evolve, the sun which awaits us tomorrow. Soon, either with smiles or with tears, will the end of our course be completed, the progress of long-fleeted years, triumphant or sadly regretted. And whom shall the vessel confine on a passage so treacherous and narrow? What tongue shall the question decide? The end which awaits us tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. What tongue shall the question decide? The end which awaits us tomorrow. The sun seems with no doubt to look down as he rides on a chariot of glory, a king with a torch and a crown, but fears to exhibit his story. What pen the condition makes known? O prophet, thy light would I borrow to steer through the desert alone, and gaze on the fate tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. To steer through the desert alone and gaze on the fate of tomorrow. In Naked Genius, 1865.